Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and this time I'm gonna be doing another movie slash show review, kind of. This time it's gonna be on Star Wars, like all of the Star Wars is. I'm gonna be talking about all of them here. What I want to do is actually a tier list because I guess it'll be sort of an overview for me to just talk about all the movies like quickly, and then I could also do like an in-depth review of the movies if you guys want me to do that. But I mean, I wanted to talk about Star Wars because I mean, this was like I grew up with these movies and most of these shows, and I really like Star Wars. I loved Star Wars. I grew up with it. It made my childhood. Star Wars was literally my childhood, and I want to go back to all the movies and all the TV shows. I'm gonna rank them all on this tier list. I'll talk about them as well, and this will also be sort of my way to just not get copyright, so I don't have to always show the clips and everything. Cause like, I mean, I don't know what do I know about YouTube? I'm a 15-year-old child. Maybe I'll figure it out someday. But yeah, I still want to make individual movie reviews for like other stuff, but like I just want to try my best not to get this one copyrighted. So we'll do all these movies here. Maybe I'll show some images from each movie or show, but like I don't know how much of it I can show for me to not get struck down by YouTube. But yeah, let's start here. So what I want to do is I'm gonna start with the movies and then the TV shows. I'll split them up into two videos because I just don't want this video to be too long. So yeah, let's go start up here. We have The Phantom Menace. I'll put this on a C. So it wasn't the most interesting movie. It's pretty boring, to be honest. I mean, even when I was a kid, I didn't really find it too interesting. I mean, I just liked that ending with the lightsaber duel between Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon, which I'll admit is an amazing lightsaber fight. I wish they went back to like the lightsaber fights like this. Because like if you look at shows like The Acolyte or even The Rise of Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi or Ahsoka, the lightsaber duels are just boring and not that great, if I'm being honest here. But yeah, I think that's something I want to say throughout all the prequels is that the lightsaber duels are pretty fire. I like that. But I didn't really like anything. It was a very boring movie. Nothing interesting too much happened that I would say is very significant to the plot of the rest of the Star Wars saga. I love Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon, that's for sure. And Darth Maul was pretty awesome to see, even though in this movie this is definitely the worst appearance he's in. And then Jar Jar, I love Jar Jar. He's amazing in all of the prequels. I love his character so much. He's very fun, and I think he's a stupid character, but he was dear to my heart as a child. I love Jar Jar Binks. Okay, no, that aside, I mean, I thought he gave a lot of spirit because everyone spoke really weirdly throughout the prequels, especially in this episode. Like they all sounded, I don't know what the term is. Some people are like, what was it, like Shakespearean or whatever, but they sounded really weird. I didn't like it. They all sounded the same except Jar Jar Binks, which that was cool. At least Jar Jar had some spirit to him, so that's nice. But yeah, overall, not that great of a movie. Attack of the Clones, I'll put it on a tier higher than The Phantom Menace, but still not great. I think it's still one of the weaker of the movies, but at least we got to see like the clones. I think that was fine, but like, I'm gonna move this to a C. It's probably the same ranking as Phantom Menace because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if there's anything that's truly great about this movie. I think there's still a lot of stupid things that happen here, and I don't know. Obi-Wan, I mean, I don't know. He wasn't as cool as he was in Revenge of the Sith. Neither was Anakin. Honestly, it's for my light just died. So, that's a problem. What happened to the light, bro? It's turned off. Did I break it? What happened? I think it died. Is this all right? I got a little sidetracked. My bad. What? Was it? What? What happened to the light? Well, I guess it's broken. Okay. But yeah, that's Attack of the Clones. Let's move on. Revenge of the Sith. I'm gonna put this on an A tier. I liked it quite a lot, actually. Definitely the best of all the prequels. That's for sure. It actually took place during an interesting war that I really like. It talked about the Clone Wars and stuff, like in the original trilogy, and we got to see the actual Clone Wars, a little bit of it through this movie, and I actually really do like it. That's for sure. I loved seeing the characters had personality and they didn't sound the same this time. They actually sounded more human, even though there was still some stupid pieces of dialogue. What the hell happened to my life? I'm horrified now. I don't know what happened here. I'm just gonna put this to the side. I don't know. I don't know what that was. But okay. Revenge of the Sith, that's a pretty good movie. I liked it a lot. Honestly. And I feel like honestly if all the prequels were just Revenge of the Sith and then like they just used elements from that, put it in those movies and it could be more gradual and feel a lot nicer, it would have been an amazing trilogy if I'm being honest here. And I loved the final duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan, which if I'm being honest is kind of a little too long and there's a little bit of some stupid stuff that show up in the duel. It's just way too ridiculous, but that's fine honestly. But yeah, no. I loved it. I really do love it. I don't know what you guys think. That might be like a controversial take, but yeah. Next up we have Solo, a Star Wars story here. For some reason it's just on this list. I don't know if I want to put it in a D or if I want to put it in a C, because the thing is it's not very interesting to me, and like it was during the period where Disney was making stuff and I didn't like what Disney did with Star Wars, and like I didn't like this movie either. It was very bland, but okay, fine. I'll put it in a C because I don't know. I don't know if I want to put it in a D, but like it's just a very boring movie, and I didn't really find anything interesting from it, except like I don't know, like what happened with Han and like Lando. I didn't really care. I don't even remember too much about what happened. I didn't really care about the movie that much, so I don't know. I don't really like this one either. Like, I don't know. Nothing too interesting. I mean, they didn't sound as weird as they do in the prequels. That's for sure. But it's just, I don't know, not very interesting of a movie. I feel like it wasn't one that I really wanted. I don't know. Like, I wanted to see Han Solo in the sequels. Like, a good looking Han Solo. Like, a Han Solo that was treated properly. Unlike in the Force Awakens. And like, I don't know. But, yeah. Where are we here? Rogue One? Actually, I'm gonna put this on an A. I like Rogue One. I loved Rogue One a lot. Like, it felt like a war movie. It looked amazing, and while not all the characters are too interesting, like I didn't really like or care for Jyn Erso too much, but I really love the story of the movie. That's the best part. I mean, seeing the Empire was horrifying in this movie, and then like seeing the Death Star, and I really like Krennic for some reason. Like, I feel like he was just a cool character who was very hot-headed, but at the same time it was like, you know, I don't know, I like Krennic quite a lot, and I absolutely loved Darth Vader. Like, imagine if in the trailers of Rogue One they did not show Darth Vader and then he suddenly just appears in the movie. You have no idea how awesome that would be. Like, Darth Vader just shows up, the whole crowd would have gone nuts. But yeah, Rogue One is amazing, especially that final third act. That was brilliant. Seeing the space battle and the ground battle all happening at the same time. I love that. All of that was awesome. Honestly, the ending was perfect. The ending was absolutely perfect. I think the thing that I didn't like the most was just the CGI. Like the resurrection of like the young Princess Leia and the young Grand Moff Tarkin or whatever. Like that looked weird. That looked really weird to me. But yeah, I think it did actually look pretty weird for a lot of people. So it's not just me, guys. But yeah, no. That's the only part that I probably didn't like the most. I liked the stuff from Jeddah as well. I don't know why. I just found it interesting to see like just the wasteland of what happened after, which that was awesome. Honestly, I love this movie, and I watched it so many times in the theater as well. So yeah, made a lot of memories for this. I love Rogue One, honestly, and it actually does lead right into A New Hope, which I'm putting on the S tier. It was actually just called Star Wars, simply called Star Wars when it first came out, and I think this is a perfect movie. This is the perfect Star Wars. Honestly, like, it's the best Star Wars ever. Honestly, I'm serious here. It's the best Star Wars. I know it feels some people would say it would feel old, but I think this is a classic. I think this is a magnificent movie. I loved all the characters here. And it's like, it's a very weird movie. I mean, for 1977, no one has probably the most you've seen from this is probably like Star Trek, but nothing as weird as this. But no, this movie is perfect. I think it's structured perfectly, and all the characters are really good. And I loved Luke Skywalker and his whole hero's journey thing, and I loved Obi-Wan. I think this is an amazing movie, but maybe not as good as the next one here, which is Empire Strikes Back, which, perfect movie. It's a lot slower than A New Hope, that's for sure. But I loved every character here, and it just felt slowly sadder and sadder. And then like went to the end when we see Han Solo frozen in carbonite, which was, ooh, that was an amazing scene. I loved Han in this movie especially. And I loved seeing Luke kind of go on his own and grow out from his little Luke Skywalker boy from Tatooine kind of self. And I loved seeing more of the Empire. This is where we really got to see the Empire shine. And we saw Palpatine for the first time, and we saw Darth Vader, where Darth Vader was amazing here. And of course, the final battle, the best lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars. And that will be forever my most favorite lightsaber duel of all time, which is the one on Cloud City. That was horrifying for me. When I first saw it as a child, I was like, whoa, this feels sad. And I was like, what's happening? Everyone's losing. And it scared me. Like that one scene when Luke jumps off into that like air duct where like Lando and Leia had to like go on a last ditch resort to find Luke. Like I was scared because I was scared of the heights, and like seeing him fall that high, that was scary for me. But but yeah, no, I think this movie is perfect, and I loved every bit of it, honestly. Next up is Return of the Jedi, which I think I'll also put maybe on an A tier. I don't know. You know, I'm gonna put all the original trilogy there because I feel like it's just they all flow together perfectly. But it's definitely, I don't know. I liked it a lot still, but there's still some weird parts of it that I don't really like, or like that I'm unsure if I like it too much. But no, I love this movie still. Definitely, it's like unironically, I still love it. But yeah, no, I don't think it's terrible at all. I think there's some people who actually don't like it, but I really loved it. I loved Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Once again, those were the best parts. Han Solo is kind of weird in this movie. He wasn't as good as he was in like Empire Strikes Back, that's for sure. But I loved Luke and Darth Vader. They were truly the best characters there. And I don't know, I think it was a fitting end to the trilogy. It was a nice celebration, and Endor was fun for me. I really do like that. The next movie here, I think, is The Force Awakens, which I will put... Actually, I'll put this on a B. You know, I'm going to put it on a B, okay? I don't like the Disney stuff, but The Force Awakens was the least bad of it all. I would much rather watch Force Awakens than the prequels, or then Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace and Solo. That's for sure. Because I think all the actors do a pretty good job in this movie. Except, like, you know, maybe there's some parts that feel weird, like where Finn screams Rey, but I don't think it's the fault of the actor. I think it's just, you know, he screams a lot, that's for sure. But I think it's not as terrible as the others. And I felt like it was more fun. Kind of. I mean, stuff happened, but it's literally just a ripoff of A New Hope. That's the problem. And then another problem is when they killed Han Solo, which is what I hated. Because, like, okay, I would have felt sad if they didn't make Han Solo, like, a divorced, bad father who has not seen Princess Leia for a long time, who couldn't even see Luke. He did not ever have a chance to meet Luke Skywalker. Like, you bring back Princess Leia, Han Solo, and Luke Skywalker, and you don't put them on a scene at all? Why? That's a horrible idea. And I don't know. I don't know. It felt horrible just seeing him go like that. I did not like that at all. I mean, when we first see him, when he goes, Chewie, we're home. You have no idea how much hope that gave everyone. Like, everyone loved that scene. Like, when he first showed up in the trailers, I was excited. Because, like, I was like, okay, I saw the prequels and I saw the original trilogy. When is the next movie coming out? When I saw it on YouTube, I was like, whoa, that was awesome. And then I watched this movie like how many times? I watched it a lot of times, like maybe 10, 11 times in the theater. Every chance I got, I watched it. Like, I'm serious about this one. But yeah, there were some elements that I thought were cool and could have been great if they didn't screw it up later on. Like, seeing C-3PO with the red arm in the end was like, whoa, what is that? I feel like that could have been cool. I wanted to see what happened before then. it was like there's such a big gap between Return of the Jedi and this movie that I feel like what else could have happened before, you know? And then seeing Kylo Ren, that was so cool for me to see. And then seeing a new kind of empire rise up, which was, I mean, you know, they ultimately screwed that up, that's for sure. But then seeing all the characters old and seeing what happened after, like, one thing I really didn't like though was how they destroyed all of the stuff from like the Legends books, which now just kind of gets rid of everything. But like that showed the might of this new empire kind of thing, which is pretty cool. But it was basically a ripoff, and I don't think they followed it up well either. But yeah, no. At the end when Luke Skywalker was there, he didn't say anything at all, but it ended sort of on a hopeful note. And then when we see Luke in The Last Jedi, this is where I'm gonna put Last Jedi on a D, because I did not like this movie at all. Because it at least ended on a slightly hopeful note when Rey finally sees Luke Skywalker. It's like, we found him. But it was ultimately subverted, and I think it was ruined when Luke gets his lightsaber and then he just throws it out. It was like, I don't know. I did not like that at all. I hated it, actually. He was awful. And Mark Hamill, I was watching like some of the clips where he's like, just guys, it's just a movie. It's Star Wars. No, it's just a movie, guys. Expect disappointment. If you want to relive your childhood, don't expect that. Like, he was honest with this movie. He warned us from the start. Like, that video was posted, what, 8 years ago? Why am I hiccuping? Oh, I don't have water with me. Okay. Anyway, no. Yeah, he was warning us about what happened, and he was told to do this stuff. This isn't Mark Hamill's fault, okay? And I didn't like either what they did with Kylo Ren. He was horrible in this movie. He was very whiny in this movie, especially, and I didn't really like that either. Hux was kind of weird. Like, I found him cool in The Force Awakens, but then he was pretty lame in this one. Finn was really lame in this one. Rey was extremely lame in this one. She didn't really do anything. I mean, she was like the main guy, but at the same time, she was kind of, I don't know. She's not as bad as she was in Rise of Skywalker, but still not good. Yeah, no offense to any of these actors. I think they all do an amazing job, obviously. And, oh, another bad thing was that the plot there were some elements actually that I really would have loved, but then immediately after it's subverted and just ruined. Like, that scene where the bombers fight, like the TIE fighters, that was awesome for me to see on the trailers. That got me excited. And then to see, what was it, like a dreadnought, like a big super Star Destroyer kind of thing. Like, what was that? But then none of those cool things did anything. It was immediately ruined right away. All the bombers just blew up. All those cool ships blew up also on both sides. It was very lame, honestly, and I didn't like how they followed everything up. And then I would say the same thing with Snoke, which was so cool for me to see. Like, he was so huge in The Force Awakens, and when you see him in person here, I saw him in the trailers, like, oh, what's he gonna do now that we see him in person? They just killed him. I feel that was a bad idea. Like, I don't know why they would do that. Like, that they messed that up horribly. It's like everything that you could have done well, like you could have followed up well, they just cut it off so that the next movie just has to make up its own thing, which is what the next movie basically did. And then Luke Skywalker, once again, he had a whole problem with his own. Like, he wasn't like the Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian season 2 finale should have been the Luke Skywalker that we saw here. Like, I wouldn't mind him feeling a little bit sad, and maybe there's something that happened to him before, but like, he shouldn't have been completely hopeless and just been like a complete, like a hobo basically. Like, I don't know, because he's a Jedi. Like, I feel like he should have at least held up that hope, because that's what his character was. And like, if he showed up at the very end with like all the walkers on the last ditch effort to save the rebels or the Republic or whatever they were called. What were they called? The Resistance? I don't know. I didn't really like that name. Like, why are they called the Resistance? It just sounds lame. I wish they were just called New Republic or whatever. But yeah. If he showed up there to just take out all the walkers, like if he used the Force and just lifted all of them up and then just crash them into one another and take them out or disable it, you have no idea how amazing that would be. It would show how attuned Luke is to the Force. He would have been like Yoda in the original trilogy. Like, seeing him, like, what if we saw Luke lift up his old X-Wing once again to do something that he couldn't do in the previous movies, and then he goes in one last time to save his friends and the people he loves, to save his sister, and then to carry on his legacy, or the legacy of the original trilogy. You know how cool that would have been? You know how cool that would have been? Also, this is not scripted. This is actually what I feel about this movie. This is how much I care about Luke Skywalker, bro. But yeah, honestly, it was very disappointing, this movie. So that's also why I'm putting Rise of Skywalker on a D. I didn't like it either. It was worse than The Last Jedi, because at least Last Jedi had some cool things. Rise of Skywalker is really, really boring. And also is a really stupid title. I hate that. The Rise of Sky. He died. The Rise of Skywalker. Like, that's an awful title. I don't know why. I don't like that title at all. And all of the characters, like Poe, I actually really liked in The Last Jedi. In this movie, he was garbage. Like, he was just the guy who kind of drove everyone around. And, like, no one was really interesting in this movie at all. Like, we saw some characters that were teased, but then ultimately they didn't do anything. Like, even Lando, he kind of just showed up for a cameo, basically. Like, I would have liked to have seen him do more. Like, I don't know. Maybe he could have... He was not as bad as, like, what they did with Luke and Han, that's for sure. But still, it was so sad they just kind of see him not really do anything. And then Kylo Ren, once again, was not good either. And seeing, what were they called? The Knights of Ren? Those were disgustingly bad. Like, those were disgustingly bad. I'm serious, they were really bad. Like, they just show up there to stand around. They don't do anything. They were teased in The Force Awakens, but then they did not do crap in this movie. They just stood around and they got killed at the very end, which the final battle was terrible. And then the fact that they bring back Palpatine out of nowhere was worse, because he exploded. I don't know. And if that wasn't enough, his space station that he blew up in also blew up. So I don't know how he's still alive. I mean, there's like passing dialogue from this dude from Lord of the Rings who's somehow in this movie. Then he goes like, what does he say? He said like it could have been cloning or whatever. Like, that could have been cool. I like that. It's like Secrets of the Sith, because like I don't think anyone knew what the cloning was except Palpatine, because he was in charge of the whole cloning thing. No one knows about it. And like, what if Palpatine was cloned? Which I feel like that's what happened, but like there's no build up to this whatsoever. So like, it was not, it was not natural at all. It just felt like a fan film that just wanted to put everything and just slap them all at once. It's like I brought all my action figures and then just like see what sticks and just make them fight. That's what this movie basically was to me. But it didn't feel like Star Wars, honestly. It was pretty bad. I didn't like this at all. But yeah, that's all the movies. That's all the movies for me. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all the movies. And yeah, of course, I have said some negative things from these movies, but it's not a perfect franchise, but a lot of elements that I do love and I'll still hold very dear to my chest and heart and all of the good things. And yeah, I want to know what you guys think, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be doing the next part talking about the TV shows right after this, so hope you guys enjoyed this one. And yeah, I love Star Wars, and subscribe if you love Star Wars, and do all the good things that the YouTubers tell you to do. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, press the like button, and I will see you in the next video. I feel like I'm repeating myself right there. Anyway, bye-bye.